Bill Gates built the digital empire that runs your life, but a man selling handbags outplayed him. His name? Bernard Arnault. His weapon? Desire. While Microsoft ran the machines, LVMH ran the emotions, because in an age where everything can be copied, only feelings can't. By the end of this video, you'll understand how a man selling handbags outplayed the king of software, and why the real game of wealth isn't won by logic, but by desire. 2 billionaires, 2 playbooks. Gates built logic, Arnault built longing. One engineered the system, the other hacked the human heart. Their rivalry isn't just business, it's a battle for how power works today. I've spent weeks dissecting their empires, stock moves, family structures, boardroom plays, and what emerges isn't a business case. It's a billionaire chess match where the smartest man in tech lost to a savvy man in luxury. This is The Wealth Project. Subscribe and follow now to learn the rules the rich play by. The 2 empires. Bill Gates didn't just sell software. He sold dependence. Windows, Office, Excel. Tools so essential, they became oxygen for business. You don't want Microsoft Word, you need it. And Gates knew, if you control what people need, you control the world. The genius was getting the software on every computer on the planet, creating an ecosystem so powerful that leaving it feels impossible. He turned utility into a monopoly. But while Gates built his fortress, another man built a cult. Bernard Arnault buys a dying brand, Christian Dior. Back then, Dior wasn't luxury. It was lipstick in drugstores. Arnault slaughtered the licensing deals, pulled it from the masses, and hired John Galliano to turn the runway into theater. Arnault turned scarcity into a weapon, because Arnault didn't just buy luxury brands. He bought history. He bought emotion. He bought the feeling of belonging to a club most people will never enter. His strategy is manufacturing desire through engineered scarcity. Everyone wants his products. Only a few can have them. This isn't about logic. It's about pure emotion. 2 empires, one built on need, the other on want. And when the world stopped spinning, we found out which one was truly bulletproof. The pandemic stress test. February 19th, 2020. The stock market peaks right before the crash. Let's set both Microsoft and LVMH to a baseline of 100. Now watch what happens. The pandemic hits. Everything collapses. Microsoft drops. LVMH drops even harder. Makes sense, right? In a crisis, you need cloud storage for Zoom calls. You don't need a $5,000 handbag. The market agreed. Luxury was punished. Then the recovery begins. Microsoft climbs back strong and steady. Remote work explodes. Teams, Azure, cloud services. It's the predictable, safe bet. By the end of 2020, Microsoft is well above its pre-crash peak. Solid, reliable, exactly what you'd expect. But look at LVMH. After the initial shock, it doesn't just recover, it explodes. It doesn't catch up to Microsoft, it blows past it. By 2021, LVMH is outperforming not just Microsoft, but the entire S&P 500. Not by a little, by a lot. How is this possible? The world is in lockdown, stores are closed, nobody's traveling. Why is a luxury conglomerate crushing a tech giant during a global pandemic? Here's what the data reveals. In a world of fear, the wealthy didn't just bet on utility. They bet bigger on the recovery of human desire. It's called revenge spending. When lockdowns lifted, the wealthy didn't tighten their belts. They unleashed years of pent-up desire. They bought watches, handbags, champagne, status symbols in record numbers. By August 2020, LVMH had rebounded over 30%. Analysts on Bloomberg called it a revenge luxury surge. The wealthy were spending like the world was ending. Here's the secret Arnault understood. You can pirate software, you can't pirate desire. The value of true scarcity wasn't just insulated from the downturn, it was magnified by it. Quick thought experiment for you. Who do you think will win the next decade? The empire of logic and code, or the empire of culture and desire? Drop your take in the comments. I read every one, and your insight might just shape our next deep dive. So now you see how LVMH crushed Microsoft during the pandemic. Desire beat necessity, culture beat code. But this isn't just a corporate story. This had massive personal consequences, and the scoreboard is brutal. The Great Reshuffling. By the end of 2020, Gates was still ahead, $120 billion, Arnault, $114 billion. But 3 years later, Gates, flat, $119 billion. Arnault, $211 billion. The man of code plateaued. The man of culture doubled his fortune. Arnault didn't innovate. He consolidated. He bought up icons, built moats out of scarcity. And while tech fought to stay relevant, luxury reminded people who they wanted to be. That's the ultimate wealth hack. When you own desire, you don't chase markets. They chase you. Arnault didn't sell handbags. He sold hierarchy. Because power, like luxury, isn't about need. It's about access. The richest man on earth didn't build the future. He bought the past, polished it, and sold it to the next generation. So now you know how Arnault became the richest man on earth. Desire crushed necessity. But this battle is far from over, because what's happening right now in 2025 proves the next chapter is even more fascinating. Dynasty versus AI. Arnault, now in his 70s, pulls his ultimate move, immortality. He doesn't retire, he installs bloodlines. Delphine runs Dior, Antoine controls watches, Alexander commands Tiffany. Each child holds a crown jewel. This isn't a family, it's a board of kings and queens. The Rockefellers had oil, the Rothschilds had banks, the Arnaults have desire. By 2024, LVMH isn't just a company. It's France's unofficial national brand. Paris Olympics, medals by Chaumet. Champagne by Moet. Athletes dressed by Berluti. That's not sponsorship, that's conquest. Meanwhile, Gates makes his counterattack. Through Microsoft's alliance with OpenAI, he positions himself at the center of the AI revolution. This isn't about spreadsheets anymore. It's about digital intelligence. Replicable, scalable, infinite. The battlefield shifts. One man builds a dynasty in marble, the other in machine learning. The question isn't who's richer now, it's who controls the next era of power. So now you see the battlefield. Arnault is building a dynasty, Gates is betting on AI. But here's what makes this story so powerful. This isn't just about two men. It's about two completely different ways of seeing the world. And understanding the difference is the key to everything. The mindsets. Bill Gates sees the world like a circuit. Everything can be fixed, optimized, improved. Even his philanthropy is an algorithm. Data, vaccines, efficiency. Arnault sees the world like a theater. No debugging, no efficiency, just emotion. He doesn't fix problems, he sells escape. When the world fell apart, Gates offered tools. Arnault offered fantasy. And humanity will always overpay for fantasy. Finale. Bill Gates scaled necessity. Bernard Arnault monetized status. Because in the story of power, spreadsheets build systems, but stories build empires. The richest man in the world didn't outwork Bill Gates. He out-understood human nature. In a world drowning in data, he reminds us people don't buy what's useful. They buy what makes them feel untouchable. This wasn't a story about handbags or software. It was a warning shot. Every market cycle, there's a new battlefield. AI, crypto, real estate, luxury. And the same rule always wins. The man who owns emotion owns everything. The next billion-dollar play is one click away. Keep playing smarter with The Wealth Project. Pick our latest insight or a curated favorite right here on your screen.